What's good with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here. And today, we're going to be watching an insane match. This match is so freaking hype between Salamangreat, piloted by me, and Chip playing Blackwing. Now, Chip's going to get to go first, and he's going to start off with a pretty exciting board. But first, he's going to activate Black Whirlwind. Every time he normal summons a Blackwing monster, he'll be able to add a Blackwing monster from his deck to his hand with less attack. He's then going to follow up with Blackwing Blackwing Simoon Poison Winds, which allows him to banish a Blackwing monster in his hand to activate a second copy of Black Whirlwind from his deck, and then he can gain the normal summon of Simoon to his side of the field. Now, since Simoon was normal summoned, he'll be able to trigger both the effects of his Black Whirlwind to add not one, but two Blackwing monsters with less attack, 1600, from his deck to his hand. This is actually going to set Chip up with an insane combo. He's going to make a pretty awesome board. He's going to add Auster, the South Wind, and Blizzard, the Far North, from his deck. And keep in mind, the Simoon summon was through its effect, so he's actually able to normal summon as his regular normal summon. He's going to take advantage of that, normal summoning Auster, the South Wind. But I just so happen to have the effect Veiler. Does not matter. Chip 102 has the response in Cold by the Grave. He's going to stop the effect Veiler and be able to bring his Harmat to his side of the field. But another twist is that he'll be able to add from his deck to his hand through Black Whirlwind 2 more monsters. As long as they are under the attack of his Auster, he's A-OK. Using that opportunity, he's going to go ahead and add Breeze the Zephyr and his Orochi the Squall. And now he'll be able to special summon Breeze the Zephyr from his hand to his side of the field due to its effect. I'm telling you guys, Breeze the Zephyr might not have been a great card in its heyday or back when Blackwings were dominant, but right now in late 2019, the card is phenomenal. Chip's now going to go ahead and follow up with Orochi the Squall to his side of the field, and now it looks like he's going to be preparing himself for a Link summon. Reason why is because I don't think he wants to start Synchro summoning or Exceed summoning. He's restricted to the Master Rule 4 mechanic. So using Auster, Squall, and his Harmattan, he's going to go ahead and Link summon for a Link 3 monster. You guys should already know what Dark decks love to do. He's going to summon that Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish to his side of the field. Now, Rusty Bardish is really popular with Dark decks because just being able to send Phantom Knight monsters from your deck to your graveyard to set Phantom Knight cards to your side of the field. Fog Blades get you free negations. Your Ancient Cloak gets you a free monster and another Fog Blade to your side of the field. It's just really powerful. And this particular build, Blackwings are going to take advantage of the Phantom Knight engine in a different way. Most of the time, players use the Phantom Knight engine for links. We're going to be using it for something a little bit more spicy. So Chip sending the Ancient Cloak to set a Fog Blade. He'll now be able to use his Ancient Cloak's effect to add a Phantom Knight's monster or Phantom Knight's card from his deck to his hand. He's going to add Phantom Knight's Silent Boots, and now he can special summon Phantom Knight's Silent Boots, to his side of the field, since Rusty Bardish is a Phantom Knight's monster. Bringing Big Bad Daddy Phantom Knight's Silent Boots to his side of the field. He is in a great situation. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Phantom Knight's Boots is a level 3. Zephyr's a level 3. He's not going to Link summon. He's going to Synchro summon. And he's going to make Blackwing Nathung I don't even know this card's name. I can't even see it right now, but I'm pretty sure you guys can see it. Blackwing Nathung is great because it inflicts 800 damage to your opponent, bringing you to 7,200. But Blackwing Nathung allows him to gain another normal summon. He's going to take full advantage and normal summon Blackwing Blizzard, the Far North, to his side of the field. And now he'll be able to activate his Black Whirlwinds, allowing him to add more Blackwing monsters from his deck to his hand. And then on top of that, he can still special summon a Blackwing monster from his graveyard to his side of the field. So he's going to bring back that Harmattan, the Dust, to his side of the field. And now he can use Harmattan's effect. It's going to target either his Poison Winds or its Nathung. It does not matter. It's going to turn itself level 8. And now Chip is going to use both of those monsters for an Exceed summon. What 6 monster can you make? You're restricted to just darts. He's going to make number 24 Dragulus the Vampiric Dragon, which is actually a lot better than what it looks. It can flip monsters face down that were special summoned to extra deck. Some people were thinking TheCaliEffect. Link monsters can't be in defense, but that's fine. Vampiric monster can flip everything else face down. He's then going to go ahead and make a Blackwing full armor master to his side of the field. And now he has a 3k body that's unaffected by all card effects, can snatch your opponent's monsters, and on top of that can destroy them as well. He then has a monster that allows you to flip certain monsters face down. Let's just face it, no Link monster is going to be beating this full armor master. But a synchro or a fusion monster, cough cough, a specific fusion monster that Salamangreat plays possibly could. Vampiric kind of shuts that down because it can flip it into face down defense position. So Chip is in a really good spot. 3000 beater, really good monster to complement that 3000 beater, and a Rusty Bardish, as well as two, not one, but two Phantom Knight's Fog Blades face down. He's gonna go ahead and pass it right back to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and fix him right now. His Black Whirlwind has to go to the graveyard due to Tamoon's effect, and he takes 1000 damage. So Chip is at 7,000 life points to my 72, but do not let that fool you. I'm gonna try to make a play here because this board's kind of strong. I'm gonna start off by activating Twin Twisters. We just so happen to have another Twin Twisters in our hand to discard from Twin Twisters to destroy both of Chip's back row. We're gonna get rid of those face down Phantom Knight's Fog Blades. And now we're gonna start off with our normal summon. I'm gonna go ahead and normal summon Salamangreat Foxy. And you guys should already know, but when it's normal summon, I get to excavate 3 cards from my deck and then add 1 Salamangreat monster or Salamangreat card. No Salamangreat cards this time around. So we're in a pretty tough spot. We just have the Salamangreat Foxy. No cards added from it. We do have a couple of other cards in our hand we'll be able to take advantage of. Our next play is going to be activating Cynet Mining. We're going to send from our hand to the graveyard Salamangreat Spinny, and then we're going to be able to add a Cyburst monster from our decks to our hand. In this particular situation, we're going to add the Salamangreat Gazelle because Gazelle can still summon itself even though it didn't quote-unquote see the Salamangreat monster being sent to the graveyard. Gazelle now activating its effect. We'll be able to send a Salamangreat card from our deck to our graveyard. Thinking about our play, I could send Fusion of Fire and then fuse his Rusty Bardish off the field and then attack over, you know, obviously make my monster stronger than his Blackwing Full Armor Master and attack over it. But the big problem right now is that Blackwing or that Vampiric Dragon being able to flip my monsters face down. That attack just wouldn't go successful. And then to make matters worse, I would have a monster in the extra monster zone. It's just not working out the way that we want it to. I'm going to make Salamangreat Baylinks to add our Salamangreat Sanctuary. And now we're thinking about our next move. We want to make Mirror Stalio. But Mirage Stalio he'd just flip it face down. That's really all I can say. He could just flip the monster face down and we would be looking pretty ridiculous right now. I don't have any other extenders, so using both of those monsters, we're just gonna go ahead and make Salamangreat, Sunlight Wolf, try to recur some of those resources in our graveyard. Using Spinny, we're going to special summon it to our Sunlight Wolf, activating our Wolf's effect. We're going to get Gazelle back into our hand. So again, the reason why I didn't make Stalio is because Chip would just flip it face down. Like, we wouldn't be able to get any resources to our side of the field. We'd have a face down monster pointing to where our only link arrow is. Just would not be good times for us anywhere out. It just wouldn't be great at all. So we have to make some sort of unorthodox board just to try to break this one using Spinny and Sunlight Wolf. For Link Summon, we're going to make Heat Leo. And Heat Leo, I'm looking at this card like, I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything for me. But at least I'm going to be able to destroy that Black Whirlwind and then link the Heat Leo into another Heat Leo. I feel this is where Salamangreat decks will struggle because he has the out in Vampiric to flip a monster face down, meaning that monsters like your Fusion, your Salamangreat Violent Chimera can't do what they're supposed to do to deal with those big threats. And the Blackwing Full Armor Wing is unaffected by card effects, but you guys should know what's not unaffected is you guys seeing the saucy Blackwing deck profile. All you guys have to do is destroy that like button. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes by the end of the day, and a Blackwing deck profile will be coming your way. It's saucy, and it does have some really good outs to Salamangreat. Using Heat Leo, we're gonna attack over the Rusty Bardish, and then that's pretty much our turn. We're gonna set a card face down, and then the game plan is that Chip, if he doesn't have anything to follow up with his board, we can destroy his Vampiric Shadow, and then on the following turn, we'll be able to use our plays to make Fusion of Fire and get over the Blackwing full armed wing. So we're gonna use Salamangreat Rage preemptively to destroy the Vampiric Shadow. And now that I think about it, I don't think that was a great idea. That just didn't, it seemed like a great idea in theory, but that just might be the mistake that will cost me this turn. He's gonna spell summon Dragulus, the Vampiric Shadow, back to his side of the field, and then use Blackwing full armed wing. Well, I guess no, that makes sense. He would just take it with full armed wing. So yeah, I guess I had to. And I'm looking at 5,300 damage, but unfortunately for me, Chip does have the Blackwing Auster Southwind. He's gonna go ahead and normal summon it. Then he's gonna spell summon a Harmattan from his hand. He's gonna use Harmattan to turn, or Harmattan to target Auster, turning it into a 6. And now he can synchro summon into another, yes, that's right, another copy of Blackwing Full Armor Master, which is enough for game. He's gonna have 8,300 damage on the board. I have no responses. Salamangreat are gonna take that L for game 1. Going into game 2, Salamangreats are touted as the best deck, one of the best decks inside of this format, and this game has been not so great for Salamangreats. Let's see how they work in game 2. Activating Salamangreat Circle, we're going to be able to add a Salamangreat monster from our deck to our hand, but Chip has the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Unfortunate for us. We're going to go ahead and normal summon our Flame Buffalo to our side of the field, and then we're going to use it for a Link summon, which will trigger its effect. We're going to make Salamangreat Baylinks. Now, there is a little bit of a misplay. Flame Buffalo says discard one Cyberse monster to draw 2 cards. I drew 2 cards and then discarded a Cyberse monster. I don't know why I thought it was a weird graceful charity, but we do have the Salamangreat Spinny to discard, so it doesn't really matter how we did it. We used the Buffalo for a Link summon. It's the Baylinks, and then we discard the Spinny. You should discard the Spinny, then do that. If you guys do that in a regular tournament, your opponent could call you out on it, especially if you shuffled your hand. That is a game loss. So, ladies and gentlemen, be very specific when you use cards like Flame Buffalo. I'm going to go ahead and send Salamangreat's Roar from the deck to the graveyard. And now, since Spinny is in the graveyard, I can go ahead and special summon Salamangreat Spinny. And Spinny and Gazelle can now be used for an Exceed summon. Those 2 monsters will make our ever so faithful Salamangreat Morastalio, which is a really important card, a card that we couldn't get into in game 1 because of his Vampiric Dragon, but we'll be able to use that effect, detaching the Gazelle to special summon from our deck to our side of the field a Salamangreat monster. You guys should already know the combo. It's going to be that Jaguar. And I like to say we're in a pretty good position, but the best position is to always have some really good mats for you guys. And don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I got the sauce for you. If you check in the description, you will find a link to Imperium Duelist. If you go ahead and click on that link, it'll take you to the website, and you can buy a sick mat like this. Use that code CaliEffect10 off to receive 10% off your entire purchase. That's right, whether you're buying mats, sleeves, or whatever you want from their site, if you use that code, you will receive 10% off your entire order. So, excuse me, looking at this game state right now, Jaguar and the Baylinks will obviously be used for a Link summon into our Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. And then we'll start to pop off with a normal combos. I'm not 100% sure why it's taking me so long to do this. Maybe I'm trying to think of some other combo. I'm not the best Salamangreat player in the world, but even looking back at it, it's like, why are you taking so long? I'm going to make Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. And pay attention to detail, ladies and gentlemen. I happen to open the Salamangreat Sanctuary, so no Baylinks effect for me. I'm gonna make the second Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. The big debate was that should I have summoned a monster under my Sunlight Wolf? I actually remember this now, so I can get resources. I was thinking that maybe he had Effect Veiler, and I was like, there's no card that I want to shuffle into my deck other than Sunlight Wolf. So I was like, nah, I gotta do it. There's like, you know, I'm in that situation. But Chip does have the Effect Veiler, puts me in a terrible spot. I won't be able to get that Salamangreat Rage, or Roar from my deck to my hand. And I gotta pass it right back to him with no back row. Chip's gonna go ahead and take full advantage of the no back row. And he's gonna start off his turn by gathering resources using the effect of his powerful spell card in a Lore of Darkness. He's gonna draw 2 monsters, but he's forced to banish a dark monster. If he does not, his entire hand goes to the graveyard. I think the fortunate thing is that Blackwings are basically all dark monsters, so he'll more often than not have a dark monster to banish. He's then going to activate Black Whirlwind and then normal summon Blackwing Oster to South Moon. And I just so happen to have an Effect Veiler of my own, looking for revenge from game 1. I'm going to be able to negate the Oster to South Wind, but it almost doesn't matter. Chip's going to be able to add from his deck to his hand, excuse me, a monster with lower attack than Oster. And we can already assume that he's going to add Harmattan the Dust, because Harmattan the Dust is basically those 2 cards. It becomes a 1-card, my apologies, it becomes a 1-card full armor master if he so chooses. So I'm not 100% sure what would be his best course of action right now, because I don't know the rest of his hand. But we do know he has the Harmattan, so he's going to summon that to his side of the field. He can use Harmattan to turn it into a 6, which looks like he's going to, or no, maybe he thought about it. Actually, if I remember correctly, he definitely said, nah, never mind, no number change. We're going to go ahead and make Blackwing the Thumb. We need more resources in our hand, and he has a way to break my board. So Blackwing the Thung is going to inflict 800 damage, bringing me down to 7,200. And then he's going to be able to get another normal summon, which is his Blackwing Chris the Dawn. He's going to trigger his Black Whirlwind again. He's going to be able to add a monster from his deck to his hand. We don't play Gale, unfortunately, but we do play a monster that's similar to Gale. When it's added from your deck to your hand, you can summon it to your side of the field. So Chris might not be able to search Gale, so we can freely summon to my side of the field and half a monster's attack. But he'll be able to add a monster that will bring a monster to his side of the field, so we can start popping off with some synchro plays. He's going to add Blackwing Breeze the Zephyr from his deck to his hand. And now, since it was added by a card effect, here comes that Breeze the Zephyr. Another card summoned under Sunlight Wolf, and I decided not to activate Sunlight Wolf's effect. Big oof, ladies and gentlemen. Chip can definitely take full advantage of this and never summon there again. And I would have just like been screaming at myself for the advantage I didn't take advantage of looking at it back. But now he's going to summon a Roshi to his side of the field, and instead of making the Blackwing full armored wing, he's going to start synchro summoning. He's going to use the Orochi and the Nathung for a synchro summon. That beautiful monster is going to be Blackwing Tamer Obsidian Hawk Joe. Hawk Joe will be able to special summon that Nathung back to his side of the field, which is, you know, that's pretty cool. He'll be able to now have another monster on his field, and then he can still synchro summon for the, no, it looks like he's not even going to make the full armored wing. He's going to go ahead and use his Chris and his Breeze for his Assault Blackwing Ririkiri to Rain Shower. This time around, I actually decided to gain advantage of my Sunlight Wolf, adding Gazelle from my graveyard to my hand. And now Ririkiri can destroy 3 cards on my side of the field. I'm going to banish the Salamangreat Baylynx to protect them. And I'm not sure if this would have been smarter, or if making the other play, just going ahead and making the Blackwing full armor wing. I'm thinking maybe he's like, if I don't have a way to protect my full armor wing, it's not important right now, because he can always just make the Salamangreat fusion monster Violet Chimera and then attack over the full armor ring. This way I have 3 monsters on my side of the field. They're pretty strong, and I can still make some plays with them. So I can kind of see that. And he actually had an attempt to blow up my board. So I actually think that that was a smart idea. So it looks like Chip is possibly deciding on his next play. The Somberfield Center hasn't turned over yet, so I'm assuming it's still his turn. And yeah, it looks like he's done with his plays. He definitely wanted to try to extend that board, but it looks like he won't be able to. He's going to pass it right back to me. And my dead hand actually became a lot better hand. I opened 2 of these. I'm going to activate my second copy of Salamangreat Circle. And I don't know why I fanned my deck. That just like one of those oof moments. You guys know those times where you're just like, that was definitely one of them right there. Fanning your deck. that was the thing. So we're going to be able to add a Salamangreat monster. The monster that comes to mind, I think it's really dependent on your hand. We already have Spinny in the graveyard. We have Jack in graveyard. We know we have Gazelle in hand. So the Foxy or Foul is what comes to my mind. I don't play Salamangreat Mole. So yeah, Foxy or Foul might be one of the cards to add. We're going to go ahead and add Salamangreat Foxy. And now we can start to attempt to pick apart Chip's board. He has a 4-card board, Black Whirlwind, 3 Synchro monsters. It can be pretty detrimental if we just leave those monsters on the side of the field. He'll be able to make some sauce. Going ahead and normal summoning that Salamangreat Foxy. We're gonna reveal Will of the Salamangreat in 2 Twin Twisters. I got 2 Twisters. We don't need those. We're gonna add our Will of the Salamangreat from our decks to our hand. And now it looks like we'll be able to start off with a interesting sequence. We know we have Gazelle, we know we have Spinny. We can make some moves right here, depending on what can go down. So Foxy is going to obviously start off with our combos. We're going to make Salamangreat Bay Links on our side of the field. And since we summoned a Salamangreat monster, we can special summon a Salamangreat Foul. And we can also, since the monster was sent to the graveyard, we can special summon our Salamangreat Gazelle. Now, I'm 1000% confident both of those cards say if a Salamangreat blah 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 is normal summon or sent to the graveyard, you can summon these cards. But even if they didn't, I can just summon the Gazelle and then summon the Foul. Like, it really didn't matter. But again, I'm 1000% confident both of those cards can be activated in chain links. And then just summon them both to your side of the field. Gazelle is going to be able to send Salamangreat Rage from my deck to the graveyard. And these are some pretty strong monsters by Chip's boards. I think he has 2 2600 attack monsters, a 2400 attack and a Thung. So it's going to take a pretty good countermeasure to be able to break Chip's board. Fortunately, unfortunately, I can't really target any of them, but you know, it doesn't really matter at this point in time. I'm now going to return to Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf to special summon Jack, or no, I'm not. I'm going to special summon Salamangreat Spinny to my side of the field, and now I can use Spinny and Gazelle, possibly for that Link summon. Using both of those monsters, or I'm sorry, that Exceed summon, both of those monsters, they're going to make Salamangreat Marastalio. And now Stalio detaching the Gazelle. You typically want to detach the Gazelle with Marastalio because your Sunlight Wolf will be able to recur a fire monster, and then you'll be able to get that Gazelle back. We're going to special summon Salamangreat Falco this time around, trying to get into our rank 4 plays and can potentially turn the tides of this game. So I'm going to be 100% real with you guys. Salamangreat is not one of my strengths. I've seen Salamangreat, but as far as playing Salamangreat with experience, I don't have a ton of it. We're going to make Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, and I thought this was the best course of action. Just reading the cards over and over again, trying to figure out what was the correct play. I may have misread. I don't think I've misread anything, but I'm going to special summon Jaguar under the Sunlight Wolf, trigger Sunlight Wolf's effect. And then we can turn Sunlight Wolf into Sunlight Wolf number 2. No. We're going to get Sunlight Wolf number 1's effect. We're going to be able to add that Gazelle back into our hand. And now we'll be able to turn Sunlight Wolf number 1 into Sunlight Wolf number 2. So once we turn Sunlight Wolf number 1 into number 2, we can add a Salamangreat Speller Trap card. I thought that sending the Salamangreat Roar to the graveyard was perfect. No, it looks like I'm not even going to Wow, I'm actually going to use 2 monsters as opposed to using my Salamangreat Sanctuary to make a second Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. So it looks like I may have other plans for my Salamangreat Sanctuary. Maybe my Heat Leo, actually it seems like my Heat Leo will get the second boost, turning it into another Heat Leo as opposed to making another Sunlight Wolf. Using both Foul and the Sunlight Wolf, we're going to make Heat Leo to our side of the field. And then here's where reading is essential. I was reading that Will of the Salamangreat and I'm like, huh. This can summon Salamangreat monsters to your side of the field depending on the number of a Salamangreat monster used for a link summon of its own name. So if I just so happen to link summon a Salamangreat Heat Leo into a Heat Leo using my Sanctuary, I can summon 3 monsters from my graveyard to my side of the field. That seems the most opportunistic right here. That seems like it's going to give me an opportunity to make a pretty good board. So looking at Chip's board, he still does have stronger monsters than mine. The Heat Leo was able to get rid of his Black Whirlwind, which puts me in a good spot. And I'll be able to use Heat Leo's effect to turn one of his monsters' attack into whatever monster I choose in my graveyard. So that's just another one of those great things. But I still need to be able to get over all of his monsters. They do have respectable attacks. I can only get rid of one, which I guess the prime target will be Nathung or Rirakiri, because those 2 monsters would be able to destroy monsters on my side of the field. But if I remember correctly, Obsidian Hawk Joe forces me to attack him, or like when he's targeted, you get forces to target him or something like that. It's something really crazy that could be detrimental to my combo. Actually, I know when he's targeted, he can target somebody else. He's selfish. So I'm going to use Heat Leo to make Heat Leo through the effect of our Sanctuary. And then I'm going to activate Will of the Salamangreat. So Will of the Salamangreat allows you to summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard, or you can use its other effect, sending it to the graveyard to spell summon Salamangreat monsters to your side of the field. Dependent on the Salamangreat monster used for a link summon for itself, I can summon 3 monsters. I'm going to summon Heat Leo back to my side of the field. I'm also going to follow up with Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. And then I'm going to use Heat Leo to obviously target a monster to reduce its attack. And I'll also be able to special summon Salamangreat Foul to my side of the field. Now, those monsters were critical. Having that Foul is going to be another level 4 monster, so I can use both of those monsters for an Exceed summon into number 41, Baguska the Terribly Tired Taper, which is still a pretty decent card in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! We are going into a format where Link monsters are still dominant, but those Synchros, those Exceeds, those Fusion monsters are starting to rear their heads out, starting to be critical pieces in a lot of strategies. So making that Baguska to my side of the field, putting it in defense position, not only forces Chip's monsters to be in defense position as well, but they can't activate their effects. Also, a great thing that's happening right now is that those monsters' defenses are 2,000. So, yeah, my monsters are able to pummel over his just through sheer force right now. Being able to attack over his defenses, I'll set a card face down and leave Chip with almost nothing. Baguska prevents the effects of his monsters, and now I'll also have a Salamangreat Roar on my side of the field. So, yeah, he's going to go ahead and scoop it up. We're going into Game 3. Really excited to see what Game 3 has in store for us. Chip's going to go ahead and start off his turn by activating a Roar of Darkness. He's going to draw 2 cards and banish a Dark Monster. That Dark Monster just so happens to be, can we get a drum roll? A Blackwing Orochi. Now he's going to follow up with his second Allure of Darkness. He's going to draw 2 more cards. Chip trying to get into his deck, get into those critical pieces to help him win this game. He's going to banish Blackwing Zephyro. And then it looks like he's going to start off with his normal combo. He drew some of the pieces. He's going to use Black Whirlwind. And then he's going to normal summon Blackwing Oscar to his side of the field. Blackwing Oscar using its effect, he's going to special summon Blackwing Zephyro from his banish zone to his side of the field. And now he can start off, he can follow up with some pretty good plays. Not before he uses the effect of his Black Whirlwind, he's going to add Harmattan the Dust from his deck to his hand. And then he can special summon said monster to his side of the field. Now, the combo could be... No, I'm not seeing that combo. I think he needs another monster, but no, he's going to use those monsters immediately for a synchro summon, or a link. No, a synchro summon into his Blackwing Nathung, granting him an additional normal summon. He's going to normal summon to his side of the field Blackwing Blizzard the Far North, using the effect of his Black Whirlwind and his Blizzard the Far North to spell summon monsters and search monsters from his deck to his hand and from his graveyard to his side of the field. Harmattan hits the playing field yet again. Finally, I'm free. The deck seems to be centered around Harmattan. And now Chip is going to add Blackwing Breeze the Zephyr from his deck to his hand. Because Zephyr was added to his hand, he'll be able to special summon to his side of the field. And now Chip has enough room to be able to make the Link 3 that he wants using the Breeze the Zephyr, Zephyros, and the Nathung. He's going to make a triple link into his Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish. Rusty Bardish will be able to gain its ability. He can send a monster from his deck to his graveyard, Phantom Knight's Ancient Cloak, to set Phantom Knight's Fog Blade to his side. No, it looks like he's going to set Rusty Bardish. Chip has some other plans up his sleeve. Ancient Cloak can now banish itself to add a Phantom Knight's monster from his deck to his hand. And that monster just so happens to be a Silent Boots. You guys should already know, Boots is always silently making its way into this game. This is starting to look really good for Blackwings. They have an excellent first turn play most of the time. They can make some really saucy boards. If not, that Blackwing Full Armored Wing is a 1 to 2 card combo depending on your hand sequence. And you can put a 3k body that's unaffected by card effects, can snatch your opponent's monsters or destroy them. He's now going to special summon that Phantom Knight Silent Boots to his side of the field, wondering what he's going to do with that. He doesn't have the synchro play. He's going to bring Zephyros to his side of the field by bouncing his Ancient Cloak. And now I think he's going to follow up with a Link summon. Keep in mind his Harmattan is level 8. He did use Harmattan to target his Nathung to make it level 8, so we know he definitely has a full armored wing. But I'm curious to see what else Chip has in mind. He's going to Link summon into Underclock Taker. And I think that was just to get the boots to the graveyard. Now he's going to use both of his monsters for a Synchro Summon. He's going to make the Blackwing Full Armor Master to his side of the field. Uh-oh. This is some scary hours. He's going to special summon Blackwing Chris the Dawn to his side of the field and then activate his Shade Brigandine using both of those monsters for an Exceed summon. He's going to make one of the most terrifying Exceed monsters that has came out in quite some time. Time Thief Redoer is taking a little bit for players to catch on to this card, but it is a free bounce. It can snatch cards from your opponent's deck. If it snatches traps, it's even more bounces. If it's out to spells, it's a draw. And we know he has at least one Phantom Knight's Rusty. He has one Phantom Knight's Fog Blade that he's going to search with his Phantom Knight Silent Boots. So he has 2 disruptions. He also has the Armor Master, which is unaffected. He has the Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardish, which could be a disruption if he plays an Exceed monster to where the Link arrow points to. Underclock Taker may not look like much, but it's actually the reason why he was able to search his Fog Blade. I'm feeling if Blackwing monsters get a generic like Link monster, that would be in place of that, and it could be really powerful. So he's going to go ahead and pass it right back to me. He's going to use Time Thief Redoer to snatch a Twin Twisters, a spell card, which will allow him to draw a card from his deck. Man, I wish I had that Twin Twisters right now. I'm going to go ahead and read Time Thief Redoer. We're going to try to figure something out. So Time Thief Redoer can activate its effects only once per turn. Unfortunately for me, Salamangreats do need to get on the field to start doing anything. Like, it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna start off with Salamangreat Circle. Let's see if we can break this board, ladies and gentlemen. Circle will allow me to add a Salamangreat monster from my deck to my hand. I can add Spinny, I can add Jag, I can add, you know, the Gazelle. I think the best one, oh no, we're gonna add Gazelle. I was gonna say the Gazelle was the best one, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you need Spinny, you add Gazelle. Sometimes you need Gazelle, you add Spinny. Or you guys understood what I said. And now I can start off my plays, hopefully uninterrupted by his back row. I'm gonna normal summon Salamangreat Foxy. We're gonna reveal 3 cards from our deck. Twin Twisters, what is up with you? Salamangreat Fowl and the Signet Mining. We're gonna add the Salamangreat Fowl from our hand. And now Chip is gonna take a good, he's gonna use Time Thief Redoer. Let's just put it that way. Time Thief Redoer is gonna detach the trap card to bounce my Salamangreat Foxy. And now I kind of don't have a board. I can't make Baylinks, which means I can't summon Mirastalio, which means I can't really play Yu-Gi-Oh! At this current time. I'm gonna set a card face down, or 2 cards face down, 3 cards face down, and pass it right back to Chip. It looks like we're not gonna go without a fight. Chip's gonna go out, or I'm gonna pass my turn, giving it back to Chip. He's gonna use the Time Thief Redoer to draw a card, but I just want to point out that he should have drawn for his draw phase before he used Time Thief Redoer. So, you know, that's just not really, I guess, it doesn't really matter that much. He's then gonna use his Time Thief Redoer to attach the Foxy back to it as a material. And now it looks like Chip can pretty much win the game right here. Blackwing showing their pure strength. If you guys want to see a Blackwing deck profile, get this video to 500 likes. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys having a great day like I am.